with the pandemic. I hope everyone is staying safe at home. Okay, so to start with, to give you just a background, we've been reaching out to you. I am Ayushi Verma from Radhi Connect. Uh, we are authorized dry waste partners for MCGM and UNDP. We are running a dry waste collection center in our North Ward, Mumbai. And um, okay, thank you for bearing with us. Thank you so much. Today, the topic for this webinar is waste coronavirus and property tax rebate. Um, Now, these are not the words that we usually put together when we are talking about each of them. We will see what exactly why are we putting it together and what is the relevance of it in today's time. So these are the things that we'll be covering in today's webinar. How can waste disposal cause spread of coronavirus? What exactly is the link between waste and coronavirus? How can we really prevent it if it can cause the spread? And while we're doing that, how exactly can we also, how is property tax rebate related to it? By the end of the seminar, we'll be sharing with you templates and the tools that you'll require that you can use for actually making all of it happen for yourself. Coming to the very first point, how can disposal cause a spread of coronavirus? Now, I do not have to tell you guys a lot about how exactly the virus is spreading. You already know about it. For first 14 days, people do not show the system. There are two ways of, first is respiratory and the other one is contact. In the respiratory form where you are coughing and sneezing. So in the 14 days, especially when you are not showing any symptoms, but it could be just normal sneezing, you could actually still have the virus, and that you sneeze into the tissues and we using the mask when we go out. And the second is the contact. Now, when we are contacting, we come in touch with people who are dealing with it, who might have the virus and not are asymptomatic about it. Now, this is how it spreads and how we disposing of waste. For those of us who are already segregating into three ways, perfect. But most of us are either segregating into wet and dry or it is mixed. Now, with wet and dry, when we just segregate into two of them, the tissues that we sneezed into, the mask that we coughed into, all of those things, they are thrown in either of these two. They get picked up from our home, is taken to the society, and then is taken. The dry goes to the dry waste collection center that I was mentioning about, and the wet goes to the composting unit. And worse, if it's mixed, it gets picked up from our societies, and we have massive amount of waste that has to be dealt with, which goes into dump site, and when that massive amount has the mask and all of those things, they make the whole of it contaminated. So all source of waste becomes a source of virus for us. Now, usually when we think about it, we think that it goes out of our house and it just is taken care of by BMC. But in every step, the humans are involved. We've been talking about how coronavirus spreads from human to human. Now, when it gets picked up from our home, it gets picked up by a Safai Sati that comes to our home. When it gets stored into the society compound and is taken to the different facilities, there's still someone on the van who's getting in touch with it, acting it. And when it is reaching the dry waste collection center or composting unit, again, there are humans involved for handling of the waste in all of these. We usually omit the part that there are humans involved in it. But if the infected waste goes to any of them, all of them get prone to getting the virus. Now, the case with coronavirus is even if one person has it, we are all of us are in danger of getting it ultimately. That's why we have to lock ourselves in. So where is our biohazardous waste going? So our mask and all of those things are part of biohazardous waste to papers. As I was mentioning earlier, the dry waste collection center. This is the picture on the left is from dry waste collection center where people now they have been provided with the gears, masks, safety kits, their personal safety equipments. But this is the picture from the right is the what has been because they have not been properly keeping out the biohazardous. It has been coming to the center. Now, when they are segregating it, obviously they are in danger of getting the disease themselves. So, wet and dry are two categories which I'm not going to get into in detail now at all. But the third category is the biohazardous mask and all tissue papers. The basic rule of thumb is that we identify this as those things which touches our body. Now, when they touch our body, it essentially means that they have our body fluids. They have things that could transmit disease from. Now more than ever, we really need to be careful with what is happening with these things which have our infection. So we'll come to how exactly we know now the how it can be transmitted. When the Safai is collecting from us could be infected, we ultimately everyone is in danger of getting it. So to prevent that, what do we do? In our North Ward, in everywhere, in all the places, we have three simple steps for all the households. Keep a separate bin, which you can close, have a lid on it. You might not have a dustbin right now. You can't go out right now to buy a new dustbin, but we have solutions for that. We have to have a different dustbin for this. Use government approved dustbin liner or equivalent for it. Put the liner in the bin and throw these different kind of things only in that. So the step two would be segregate. The wet could be kept when we actually start segregating. The wet comes out to be much less and has so it can be put in any of the container that you have for now. Dry waste again does not require any specific bin or you could just use any bag, any old bag in the house and keep your dry recyclable waste in that. Now the old bin that you have with the lid on it, you can use that as a reject bin, putting the liners in it. And the safe disposal finally would be that you give out the wet as it is, dry waste when it is full. And the third one, which is what we're talking about here right now, is that you properly knot it. These biohazardous waste has to be kept in a dustbin in the liner. You have to knot it when you're giving out to your Safai Sathi. Tell them that you are giving this. That's it. And this, if you are in a house which is quarantining right now, this will have to be disinfected. If you are with someone showing mild symptoms, this will have to be disinfected. A virus sits for 2 hours to 9 days, WHO. So if it's in a closed environment, it's safe inside our house. Let it be there for some while, and when then that's full, then you can get it out in that particular form. Now there will be, I'm sure, concerns about how to make this happen. Like even if you do it, there will be problems. How can we go about it? So there are three of the concerns that I'll be addressing going ahead. Please mention down the other concerns that you think would actually make it impossible to do it in your society, in your households, that we can address that as well. One of that is Safai Sathi wants, like I will do it, but Safai Sathi will mix it, or other people won't do it, or trucks will mix it. At this point, I would ask you, I would appeal you guys to put down the questions. If there are any other concerns than this that you have, that we can address that as well. Uh, Shivnayak is putting down biohazardous includes only mass tissues and medical disposals. It includes mass tissues, medical disposals, as well as other sharp objects, things that are not recyclable, that cannot be composted either. So which does not fit into the other two category becomes reject. So even when we sweep the dust, when we cleaning the house, that also is part of biohazardous. Diapers and sanitary pads are part of biohazardous as well. Any sharp objects, blades or anything, they also go into this. Um, Things are already included, but those tablets, packet are also they also go into. So while I'm putting down addressing the other concerns, if something else emerges, you write it down. So usually we have the concern that we will segregate it, but Safai Sathi who's coming to our house will mix it all. So what do we do about that? Right now, today specifically, we are talking about a case where the situation requires us to do anything. Everyone's health is in. When we are giving it out, you're giving it out in a knotted dustbin bag. It is already contained in one thing. So even if they are not keeping it separate, it's still in a bag. You have to tell them that this is dirty reject waste, which doesn't have anything. You tell them once, you explain them this is how you're giving it out. You don't have to mention anything more. Uh, the fact that they might be not accepting it the way in that way, it is possible that they do not really understand the danger of coronavirus as of now. So, another thing that you can do is tell them about it, tell them about the danger, that how contagious it is, and how it is for their safety as well that it is contained and they did it in the same manner. Appeal them to tell other society members also to give the reject waste in that contained manner, in that tied up manner. And in most of the R North, mostly all the Safai Sathis already carry a separate bag for dry waste. So if you are giving them dry waste separately, they'll be more than happy to take it. I will do it, but my society members, other people won't do it, so it's useless. It's not. We have to start from ourselves, and then we get more people also. So we will be sharing. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be sharing with you circulars and different templates that you can share with your society members. The messages have already been drafted that you can share with them. Then it might not always be possible in most cases, but it will be. You can make it more official with the circular. It will be in the kit, a pre-drafted circular, which you can give out, which you can get on your letterhead and get it distributed to everyone in your society. So I think take feedback from Safai Sathi. If there are people who are still not segregating it, ask them to appeal them, tell them that this is important, or you can intervene yourself or through someone else. Now, the last thing, we will be doing this webinar again. If you think this would help them understand it, they can come join it the next time we do it. This one is something that we come across the most, that we will segregate it, but trucks will come and mix it. There is already a different truck that goes around for uh, dry waste collection. And right now, the provisions are being made that both dry waste and the wet waste will collect the biohazardous waste and bring it to one point from where the MCTM will get it collected and send it for scientific treatment. Now, that does not become possible when it is mixed with the rest of it. So it has to be kept aside as it is. There is being a separate compartment so that that can be put in that compartment and be transferred accordingly. I'll be taking the questions that have been posted so far. Uh, yes. So, biohazardous waste has to be treated right now with it is gone for incineration. It gets incinerated and treated, goes into different depending on the area. Are we giving Sapai protection masks and gloves because their protection is up? Yes, very well said. We are trying to give out, we're trying to get them ID cards so they can work safely, get them paraphernalias, PPE, so that they can work safely again. So your society can make the provision since all of us have already catered to our needs, can also provide it for the Sapai Sathis collectively. Another option is because the scenarios are tough right now, we cannot make promises for it, but there's another form that we have. We'll share the link for that form as well. That please do that for your Safai Sathi, and we will try getting them PPE as well. It will be shared in the group after the webinar. Are the liner for biohazardous waste supplies available? These are the any government approved ones. So the biodegradable that you when you go out. So these are the regular grocery stores. Maybe not in the smaller, but in the bigger ones, they have agreed with Safai Sathi. Um, Wet and dry waste disposal trucks don't come daily, so the wet gets mixed up. So wet waste vehicle comes on daily basis. Dry waste vehicle comes on the requirement as gets established by society. Uh, the pickups can be a little irregular, but they definitely do happen. So that should not be the reason why the segregation is not happening or it is not being kept aside. So if someone is not doing it already, right now will not be the time that the vehicle arrangement can be happen because the whole schedule has to be set. But that is not possible right now for the new societies as such. But but there's a procedure before that. You have to start segregating it so it differently before the vehicle can start coming through. So that can start happening right now. Sweepers and garbage collectors for protection and masks have already been added. Again, as said, we are trying to get, we do not know a way to reach out to all of them. That's why we'll be urging you to fill if that would be possible. However, given the scenario, we will not be taking words which if we can't abide by. So we will try our best to get them the PPE required. You have to keep it aside in a different how can we as users land users mask for disposal to avoid uh, their future abuse. So when you're keeping it aside in a bag and it is scientific landfilling, scientific disposal, then that is not a problem that we have to worry about. Okay, so uh, please keep putting down your questions. We will get back to them by the end of it. And if by the end of it we are not able to answer that, we will get into a frequently asked question and get and release it to you, all of you. Now, the third part is how is all of this related to property tax rebate right late? How can you get that late? Now, the property tax is related to all of it that when we segregate, we get 5% for wet, 5% for recyclable waste to deal with that. And the third kind, reject biohazardous e waste. is actually the only waste. Other two are reusable, recyclable. That's why the government is putting out efforts so that everyone can take care of it at their own level without them having to send it to landfills. This is from the kit that we will be sharing with you. When you are taking care of all your other things, when you're taking care of the steps, then we would have already done steps. There are 6 steps to that. The only two missing steps would be actually ensuring that there are three kind of bins. We have already put down that there are stickers. You have to ensure that there are different stickers for different bins, wet, dry, and reject, so that if someone else is also putting it themselves, so it can be put in a different bin. Uh, Training of the Safai Sathi, there's a folder there. You explain it to them, and then there's also video in the folder. I will just get. So this is the kit that we will be sharing with you later. These are specifically coronavirus things that these are the messages get out. This is the circular, then you can get on your letterhead, edit as you require, and get it circulated. This is something that you do for now, get people for now, and rest of the kit is for you, which will get you to reach uh, to the property tax rebate. So steps for societies that was mentioned on the other side are these. We will come back to the questions, or we take the questions right away. To answer Hazel Lobo's answer question, where is the biohazardous garbage being collected right now and what is being formed? So this has to get incinerated. Incineration is that it gets burnt in controlled environment so that there are no emissions from it, and that efficiently happens for these. There are plants like, so for our North Void, there's the Aluja plant. Then there are different plants that it goes to for that kind of procedure. So it gets incinerated. There are different plants. One of those plants is Aluja. I hope that answers the question. Nothing can be made out of biohazardous waste. This part, as I mentioned earlier, is actually the only part which is waste, which comprises only 10% of what we produce on daily basis. E-waste disposal. E-waste disposal is a specific, again, set of, so that becomes part of recycling industry as well, a very specific sector of it. There are metals inside it which is try to, there are authorized recycling as well. So if usually we do not get that in the center, but if we do get in the center, that is sent to the people who actually take care of the e-waste. Coming back to the rebate part of it, so the how we can actually get it is to ensure, so the starting point is that you have all of the segregation happening. Wet one has to be composted at your society level. Dry one has to be given out, disposed to authorized recyclers, authorized collectors. So our North Void has dry waste collection center, which is operating. Uh, Authorized collection is provided for that has been out. So you ensure that there are three kinds of bins, that the Safai Sathi gets trained, that there's awareness. All of these things have different um, templates and different things that you can share with it. So for the Safai Sathi, as I was mentioning earlier, that you show them the video. If you do not want to, you do not feel the confidence the training with them yourself. For the awareness, there are training videos of how exactly to do segregation. This one, three-way segregation, explains you in detail how exactly the segregation can be done. And the other video is on why anyone should do it. Again, so this is something that you can send on daily basis because one thing do not appeal people one go. So different all of these messages on different days that you can keep on forwarding out to people. Issue circular becomes an important part of it. So how far this is something that you can issue after we are out of this pandemic. Right now, you can issue this circular, put it on your letterhead, and give it out to people so that everyone is doing it. So the point here is that we have a system where ultimately everyone is secure. And there comes a point where you have to fix your schedule with the dry waste ban. Now we have list of all the people who are segregating and getting their dry waste collected from us. These are the numbers that are there. You can find it there. We'll share again the kit. Uh, you can set the schedule for when you how many days of the week according to the amount that you produce. And when you finally reach at that point, so you have everyone segregating, and then you can move on to the point where you can apply for the rebate. So this again, the property tax rebate, will the detail of this will be shared is in the kit again itself. You apply with the assistant commissioner with the required document, which you will get when you're doing that. Um, the format also in what format has to be given out will be is again in the kit itself. So that's why I'm not going into detail of what exactly is the. When you put that down, you take that form, apply with it. Then a peer review committee comes, visit you, and uh, verify the data that have been submitted by you. They submit the report, and then you get the rebate. This report has to be submitted before 5th of every month. Any month you're not doing it, the report notes that down, and you do not get the rebate for that. So let's stay home and stay safe. These are the things that are there. We will you can put down the questions that you have. We'll take the questions immediately, and if those questions are not answered and require even more specific information from BMC side, we will even get the word from them. Hello. Yes, so Nikhil Verma, I think I answered the question. If I did not, please go through the kit that I have been mentioning about. Go through all the steps have been mentioned in detail. If you have any questions, please write to us so that we can answer you specifically, and for everyone else as well. Have site visit would be perfect so that you can get an idea about how exactly where is it going and what is the effect of your segregation that something actually happens to it. We are definitely working on improving the collection system. Wet waste, as mentioned, is happening on a daily basis for the dry waste because it has to be happened. It happens intermittently, so there are times when the collection does not happen properly. We are getting tech in places with today's tech experience. It's kind of ironic to mention, but we do not usually have way to figure out when something is when the pickup did not happen successfully. It's after quite a while that we realize, oh, this place is not providing is not giving out dry waste anymore. So for that we require you to be very vigilant about it and let us know till the time that tech system is not in place that this pickups are not happening, and we put it out, we work on that, we work on the pickups of this, and on working on the systems in place, we're trying to put up a QR system where every society which is segregating will get a QR ID, which will get scanned every time the pickup is happening. So we will know if there is a failed pickup anywhere, anytime. So we'll be able to address that. So we will share the kit on the group. Shivani will share with you the link to join the group, link to sign up so that we can add you to the group and we can share the kit there. Uh, I hope that you have for now what has to be done on immediate basis, given the pandemic in mind, is clear, and what after that as well is better so that we can work on that. The next time on Sunday, we are doing the same webinar. If you think someone or people from your societies will require to attend this webinar, uh, tell them about it and please provide us the feedback so that we can improve in the next one. With that, we conclude the webinar. Ideally, the flat members should put it down, but it's either way is fine. So long as you're keeping the safety, if even if the it is not going to be hazardous, all those safety measures taken care of. If disposal we talked about earlier, and they have the PPE, and everyone is maintaining the self hygiene, not the face and constantly washing their hands as required, as often as required. All right. Um, Thank you for joining us today. I hope you had takeaways from today, and we will be sharing with you the kit. Thank you so much.